Hey, out there, fellow warriors, and those in YouTube land that may be tuning in just to check this thing out, see what it's all about, and I hope that you can, whether you're tuning in, you tune in regularly or for the first time, I hope that you find something that can help and offer you hope. Um, and so today, I also want to apologize for my absence. Over the last week and a half, about everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. Okay, but God is still working all things together for my good, and I appreciate that, and that is a big blessing. And so, anyway, this whole thing is about being grateful, thankful. I'm thankful, and about being resilient, right? And bouncing back. We got to be warriors out there because we have a common enemy. Okay, we as humans were made in the image of God, and therefore our enemy is Satan, who is the enemy of God. So he happens to be our enemy as well, and that's the reason we struggle with things like we're talking about today. Our third installment, third episode of overcoming addiction. Okay, or we could say addictions, maybe. But I have had a few, okay, a couple, several, whatever you want to say in my life. The most prominent of which was an opioid addiction, okay, that I came out of the Army with. Okay, I do not blame the Army for that, of course. I made my own choices, although doctors were involved, and it was all that sort of thing. I still take responsibility for my own choices. And by the way, taking responsibility is about the only way we're ever going to begin to get better, right? So long as we're playing the blame game, it's not going to do us any good. As my grandpa used to say, that won't buy you lunch, okay? So today, I want to talk about, um, again, overcoming addiction, of course, but I want to begin, or be in, we'll begin there, but we'll just stay there. Just a couple of verses in First Corinthians, okay? So First Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 12. By the way I overcome my addiction, okay, we're talking about 8 years now that I've been in recovery, but I don't take anything for granted, right? And I'm not going to sacrifice my sanity or my sobriety for anything, okay? Because I need both of them to achieve, to be successful, to help others, to do the kinds of things that I want to do, and as Paul wrote, to live a life worthy of the calling that I have on my life. All right, and I think that's what we all want to do. So let's jump into it. First Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12. Okay, and I encourage you, for sake of time, I try to keep it brief. I know we have short attention spans. All right, let's keep it brief. But for sake of time, anytime there's a therefore, go back and find out what it's there for. Okay, so I always encourage you to read on your own. All right, verse 12 though, chapter 10 of First Corinthians. Therefore, let anyone who thinks that he stands take heed lest he fall. Okay, so we don't take it for granted that we stand. Okay, we understand that if we stand by the power of Almighty God. Okay, and what we're allowing Him to do through us. Okay, He does the work. We allow it. Okay, and in allowing that, part of that, okay, is the simple disciplines of going to the Word every day. We get one day at a time. We've got to give it back one day at a time. Okay, that's how we get past these things. One day at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Okay? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. All right. No temptation has overtaken you. This is verse 13. That is not common to man. Okay? You're not alone in this. You're not the first person to go through this. You're not going to be the last person to go through this. But you don't have to be a statistic. Why? Because God is faithful. And He will not let you be tempted beyond your ability, but with the temptation, He will also provide the way of escape. Okay? That you may be able to endure it. All right? He's going to give you the ability. Now, whether you endure it or not is based on where your focus is. Is your focus going to be on the temptation, what's tempting you, or the focus going to be on the one who is faithful, that can make that way of escape for you? Okay, so those two verses, that's our focus. That's it, right there. All right, and so practically, I want to talk about temptation for a second because we all face it, whether it's with opioids, alcohol. It could be literally anything: shopping, food. I don't care what it is, gambling. on and on. Pornography, sex, on and on and on and on the list goes. Okay? People have some weird addictions. Hoarding. Okay? Anything that's taking the place, right? It's idolatry. It's known as idolatry. It's the next verse, 14. Therefore, my beloved, flee from idolatry. Okay? Sorry, I read an extra verse. Either way, okay, I want to talk about the temptation, though, that comes. When it comes, normally it doesn't last for long. Now, I understand being sick. If you're sick because you're in withdrawals, you need to get medical help, okay, if we're talking about drugs and alcohol, okay? But for those that aren't sick, okay, that don't need the medical help, right, it doesn't last very long. 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes. This has been proven, okay? It's been proven time and again from studies. So you can endure it, right? 5, 10, 15 minutes, okay? You've got to reshift your focus, okay? Go to the Word. Get on your knees and pray. Whatever it takes. Take a walk. Call a friend. Get a sponsor. Go to a meeting. Whatever the case may be. You've heard some of these things before, but you've got to do it because God is faithful, okay? He doesn't put a temptation on you and says, oh, look at this one. He's going to trip and fall on this one. That's not it. God is love, and nothing can separate us from His love. So go to Him. Trust Him. If you don't know Him yet, cry out to Him for mercy, and you'll find it. Okay? So until next time, guys, be safe, God bless, and Godspeed.